Okay, so now that the controller is running, we're going to look at the front panel navigation. And I'll try not to read you the whole thing, that would just bore you to tears. But I'm going to go through some of these things and try to highlight some of the, the different parts of it. So we'll start from the top left, the current profile status. That is this right here. And as you can see, we're still on profile 1. There's 0 minutes left in profile 1, which... And you can see it's cooking, so there's 0 minutes left, which means that profile is probably being held. We'll look at that in the next video. And the set temperature is 225 degrees, okay? The cook by probe status, okay, and it has a note right here, probe number 0. If its probe number shows 0, then it means it's disabled. So that's what you can see right here, the number 0, so cook by probe is disabled. If it were enabled, it would show what probe number it was right there, 1, 2, or 3. See, 1, 2, or 3. It'd have that in there, and this would be the temperature at the temperature of the meat where the controller would turn the barbecue off. Okay. And okay, so going down the list here, okay, the probe temperatures. That's these right here: probe 1, probe 2, and probe 3. Now you remember this is running a simulator. There's no probes actually plugged into this, so these are just fake numbers, but they give us something to look at. Okay, the panel light, of course, toggles the panel light on and off, and also the button panel LEDs. You can't really see those right there. Whoops. Oh, I just locked the controls. There's a control lock on and off, and you can see you can lock it and unlock it. I'm getting ahead of myself though, aren't I? And a stop start button. Yeah, this button right here is you have to push and hold it for 4 seconds. And I think it says it. Yeah, it must be held for 4 seconds. And that's to stop or start it. And the reason why is to make it so if you accidentally hit it like I just did the lock unlock, it doesn't accidentally stop your cook, right? That would be really bad. Okay, and of course the on-off toggle switch turns it on and off. We looked at that in the previous video. The lock-unlock buttons we just looked at, and this is kind of the same thing. If you lock the, you can see it says controls locked, and if you lock this, I don't know if you can hear it, but it'll beep like 3 times. And it won't basically let you do anything. It locks everything, whoops, sorry, except for the panel light. The panel light's the only thing that doesn't get locked. Okay, and then to unlock it, you just hit the lock unlock button, okay? And that's just, you know, like a kid walks up, accidentally touches something, or you're moving a probe. Anyway, that's what that's for. The cursor buttons, of course, they just move the cursor around. So like the cursor's under the 0 right now, and now it's under the 225. You can kind of see it blinking there. And you can move it up and down and left and right. And the knob scrolls through the numbers, which you saw in a previous video. So if you want to adjust it, you can just turn the knob, right? And as long as you don't hit enter save, it won't change anything, right? Okay, so, oh, the knob also, there's a note right here. The knob is also how you bring up the menu. So you just push it once, and you've got the menu. And you can scroll down the menu using the knob, and up the menu. You can hit enter to, you can push it again to go, or hit enter. It's like hitting enter, okay? And so that's how you pull up the menu. And then the control, oh, I'm sorry, so the that's a knob. Okay, so the outside temp right here, that's this guy right here. And that actually is the real temperature inside here. That is not a fake number. And the controller status right here, you can see right now we're on run cook. If you watched the previous video, we had just started it, and it was an ignite fire, so now it's running. And then the chamber, aka pit temperature, is this guy right here, the big number. All right. Okay, and there's a few notes down here that we can look at real quick. It says you can change the target temp and time remaining for the current profile, except for profile 0 and profile 5. And it's talking about these numbers right here. So if it shows a 0 or a 5, 0 is the ignite fire state, and 5 is the cool down state. And you'll see that you saw the ignite fire in a previous video. The cool down state will be profile 5. You cannot change the target temperatures on those. Okay, that's all that's saying. And it says you can change the target temp and time remaining. Now this isn't really in the manual. This is kind of a little secret thing. So if there's actually time remaining on this right here, you can actually scroll over to this and say there's only 6 minutes left, and you wanted to add, 20 minutes or something like that. It just wasn't done cooking yet. And then you could just dial up 20, hit enter, and it would cook for another 20 minutes. Now, profile's been held, and we'll look at that in the next video. So we don't, that's why it's showing 0. Okay? And this should clear it out. All right. And then, of course, you can change the target temp anytime you want. And that's the only thing. The other thing was saying, just make sure to hit enter save when you're done. Okay. Oh yeah, so it's also saying to change the warm up and cool down times, use the config tab in the web app. All right. So that's the profile 0 and profile 5. All right. Okay. And then this other note down here is when these are zeroed out, probe 1, probe 2, or 3 are showing zeros, that just means it either has no probe plugged in, which, remember, this is a simulator. Yours is going to be different. If you don't have a probe plugged in, it'll show 0 here, okay? And that's all that's saying. This also shows how hot the controller... Oh, yeah. So if this outside temperature gets to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, this controller will shut down because it's getting too hot. So if you're cooking at 500 degrees Fahrenheit and you see this thing raising in temperature, or if it's sitting in the sun or something like that, and this thing starts getting to 150 degrees, it's going to turn itself off. And that is it for the front panel navigation.
Don't forget, you can support the Muxall Open IoT channel by donation using a credit card and PayPal, or by purchasing products at the Muxall store.